morning, America. This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. We can't go to church this Sunday morning, so we decided to make bread. And by make bread, we start with whole wheat. And we get it in buckets like this. It comes from Idaho. And we got these handy dandy lids that just twist off. Makes it so easy to get into it. And we're going to grind our wheat in our Nutri-Mill. We use 6, and my mill grinds 6 cups at a time. So I pour the wheat in there, and this is going to be loud, so we're not going to do it. Our white wheat is finished milling, so I'll show you what it looks like. Isn't that cool? From this to this. Got our red wheat ground. Now we'll mix it with our white wheat. And you'll notice that the red wheat is just a little bit darker than the white wheat. I usually take my cup and I just kind of stir it together and mix the white and the red. So first things, I've measured 7 cups of flour, and to that I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of dough enhancer, and it just kind of helps your bread to rise and just enhances it. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of dough enhancer, 2 tablespoons of salt, and we use Himalayan pink salt. Measurements always aren't accurate. Then I put in 1/3 cup of gluten. And I just kind of mix that in there with the flour. Next, you add 2/3 cup of oil and 2/3 cup of honey. And a secret, you put your oil in first, then when you get ready to put your honey in, it comes out of your measuring cup easier. 2/3 cup. Oh, and I've got to go get hot water. I forgot my hot water. Bring it in here. When you do your water, I add 6 cups of water, and I always made my water too hot. I didn't understand how hot water should be. Now watch this. Let me pour it this way so you can see it. See, your honey just comes right out if you hadn't poured it all over the thing. See? Okay, after I add my oil and my honey, I add warm water. So I'm going to put my warm water in. I'm using a Bosch mixer, and it's great because you only have to let your bread rise once, and you mix everything in the mixer. So there's my water. Now I'm going to add my flour mixture. It was 6 cups of flour with my dough enhancer, my salt, and my gluten. Put that in there. And I'm going to start mixing and mix this up until it gets pretty well mixed. Then I'm going to put in 3 tablespoons of yeast. Gradually add that in. 1, 2, 3. That get good mixed. Then you gradually add flour until the sides are clear on your mixer. And you just have to see how much, I don't even know how much it is. It's just however much you need to get the sides clear. And then we'll go to the next step. My dough is mixing. I'm going to grease my pans. I use Crisco oil. You can use lard or whatever you prefer, but I use Crisco. Be sure and do the edges around here in case they flow over. We're also going to make, today we're going to make bread, and we're also going to make some cinnamon rolls. My husband's a retired firefighter, and my son-in-law is a firefighter currently. So we have a soft spot in our heart for first responders, and we thank all of them for all they're doing right now. But I've been praying for him every day, of course, my son-in-law, as he goes to work, because it is dangerous. Anyway, I thought, what can I do for them to show them how much I appreciate what they do? And I thought, I can cook for them. So I've been cooking every time he goes into work. I make something and let him take it. And I made bread, and he took that. And so he goes back to work tomorrow. I'm going to make them cinnamon rolls and bread and barbecue for him to have tomorrow. Okay, it has set for 2 minutes. It's mixed for 10 minutes and set for 2 minutes. And that's what it looks like. Now this is the fun part. I know some breads say to get flour everything. This recipe, you oil everything. So you oil your hands up and you start getting it out. First, take the paddle out. We're going to make loaves. And I just get some dough, roll it around, shape it like a pretty loaf, and drop it in your pan and kind of spank it to get the air bubbles out. And there's those. And they're going to go in a preheated oven to start rising. More oil, more Crisco. Put on your rolling pin. And then I just roll my dough out. I like to leave it a little thick, because maybe about a ½ inch, because who doesn't like thick, yummy cinnamon rolls? I think I might have too much for my pan, but that's okay. I grease another pan. Okay. Said we're using brown sugar today. That's a new thing for us, but we'll try it. So I pour my butter on here, and it does drain off the sides, and that's okay. It happens, but then I'm going to add my brown sugar. And I don't measure it, I just do it till it looks like that's enough brown sugar on there. And my theory is you can never have too much butter or too much sugar. This is not for people on diet, so if that's where you are, this is not for you, but it still is delicious. Okay. Now, I'm going to sprinkle some cinnamon on it. Okay. Now, cinnamon, you can't add too much. Cinnamon can be a little bitter if you add too much. So just add what looks right to you. That's how most things are. Okay. Now comes the fun part. You're going to mix it up. You're going to roll it, roll up your cinnamon roll as tight as you can. Yum, I know those firemen are going to love this tomorrow. After they eat their barbecue and their homemade bread. Okay, there's my roll of cinnamon roll. Okay, this is a YouTube new thing. I'm going to try it. I hope it's not a Pinterest fail. They went just like this and cut their roll, and theirs looked a lot better than that, but There we go. And I am going to have another pan. I can tell right now. Okay. I don't know about this, but it's cutting it. Just go under it. And I like to make my rolls pretty thick. Because again, who doesn't love a thick, juicy, sugar-filled cinnamon roll? And I am going to make another pan. I have to get another pan out here and grease it in a minute. This is working pretty good. Your rolls don't get squished down, so that's good. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have another pan. Okay, sometimes you get carried away and get them a little too thick, but that's okay. Cooking is not a science. It's an art. Oop, string stayed. And some arts are prettier than other arts. Okay, I'm going to have just enough for me and Glenn to make a couple for us, so that's perfect. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to go get... Okay, we've got our bread and our cinnamon rolls into bacon. While they're baking, I'm going to make us some icing. I was really going to do it right. I should sift my powdered sugar, but this morning I'm not doing that. So, just going to pour some powdered sugar in here. Okay. And mix it a little while. I'll add a little milk if it needs it. Be right back. Okay, here we go. I always turn them out as soon as they come out of the oven. Put them on a rack. Oh, wow. Yummy. Yummy, yummy. Another thing I do is I put my icing on them as soon as they come out of the oven, because nothing's better than melted icing all over a cinnamon roll. Yum. Look at that. I mean, seriously, 1,000 calories a roll, but sometimes it's worth it. I'm going to tell you another thing that we're doing as I'm doing this is that we are reading Psalms 91. He who rests in the shelter of the Most High will rest. He who stays in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of His wings. And I think that's something that is really needed during these times. We need to have hope in something, and our hope is in the Lord. And we are going to make it through this, and we're going to be better on the other side. Different. We're being reset, but that's all right. Some things need to be reset sometimes. I think those firemen are going to love this, don't you? I think they deserve it. So, there you have our bounty for the day. All of our bread and our cinnamon rolls. And I just want to remind you that Jesus loves you. Jesus, who's the hope of the world, loves you. And greater is He who's in you than he who's in the world. And be safe and God bless.